Definitely. Welcome to All Sides of Kennebec. I'm one of your hosts, Sean.
And I'm Jeremy.
And today we would like to welcome back Shelley Rudnicki, who is running for re-election, don't forget. Also, we want to welcome the Boothbay VETS that have been doing a walk-a-thon. And today we have something really exciting to, Shelley has something really exciting to present to them. From what I heard, there's a little suspense, so I'll let Shelley
Take it over.
Take over from here.
Okay, so, and it's not just myself, just so that you folks know. Along with me today, we have Dr. Robert Clark and Peter Lawrence, who have both been instrumental in getting the walk-a-thon going and raising the money that we did for Boothbay VETS. Today, we also have with us Ed Harmon from Boothbay VETS and Arthur Richardson, both from Boothbay VETS. They're on the board of directors there. And we actually have a presentation to make. Now, most of you know that the walk-a-thon took place on September 24th, and we have finally collected all the money, actually collected more than we anticipated in the beginning, and we want to make a presentation today of that money to Boothbay VETS. We're going to do the whole big check thing, even though some of the money has actually been turned in ahead of time. But so here we go.
Here it is.
And I will tell you, some of us know how much it is, but Ed and Arthur do not. So we have a presentation of $7,460.50 that was raised for the Boothbay VETS for the trailer. So let me show you that. We actually, as you know, these are not checks that can be cashed. So we have the actual checks. So I want to just go ahead and recognize over here we have Peter Lawrence and Bob Clark. And next to them is Arthur and Ed. And I personally, and I don't know about you guys, I don't mean to take over this, but I like Ed's story as to why he started Boothbay VETS and how that came about. Would you mind talking to folks about that a little bit, Ed? Because I don't think these guys have even heard all of that.
No, we've just had the good graces of hearing about you, the man of mystery for me anyways. So let's definitely hear your story and how you got into this and got everything started.
Well, I'm also a service officer for the Post-36 American Legion, so I'm with vets all the time. And I go to different meetings like Mid-Coast Veteran Council, the Maine State MVCC, which the Congressional is there, Shelley Pingree office, King, Golden, Collins, representatives are there, and that way different branches like the VFW and so forth can voice concerns over certain things that are not being taken care of. Then one of the things that they kept bringing up on a homeless vet is they have to wait sometimes 2 days to 30 days to get their DD-214. No vet carries a DD-214 in the back pocket. I haven't found one yet. But that being the case, what happens to the vet when he's homeless? He has to go back out in the street, under a bridge, in his car, somebody's garage, and they don't know he's there, freezing. Mm-hmm. We had a vet a few years ago freeze to death in Brunswick. Wow. And that didn't sit good. And they said there's nothing that can be done. Well, I'm a person who believes that always a solution to any given problem.
Can't is not a word.
And so I drew drawings and I brought it to the meetings. Everybody liked it. Nobody would give me any money. Okay, so I went out and bought a trailer. Not what I wanted. I bought it. I had an open heart surgery. Arthur came. I invited him for an hour. He stayed all day. Then going out the door, he says, "What time we start tomorrow?" And that was 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Almost 3 now, right? Yeah. And been with me ever since. So then we came up. We decided that we were going to I showed them at the trailer. They loved the trailer. Wouldn't give me any money. So I said, okay. We started a 501c3. Went to Lowe's, went to Home Depot, went to Hancock Lumber, went to everybody. Hancock Lumber's given us, pick up the phone, tell us what you need and come and get it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's great.
That's one thing I like about Hancock Lumber. They
Lowe's,
definitely step
Lowe's,
up.
the same thing.
No
Home
doubt.
Depot, basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seacoast Lumber, a guy I did business with, painting for over 20 years. Same thing. Just tell me what you need and I'll bring it up to you.
Wow.
He supplies us all the hardwood for the cabinets, and the prison in Warren makes our cabinets. And
Really?
they get to keep the rest of the hardwood to do the things they need to do, so now they don't have to buy lumber.
Right.
They get it.
It's a good trade-off.
It's a good win-win for everybody.
And it's vets in they're doing it. So we brought out the new transition from the first trailer to what we do, because now I can turn the bed the right way. Okay, and also we have more than 5 feet, so we can do the circle with a wheelchair.
Really?
Right?
Wow, I would have never thought that you could even get a wheelchair under one of these. I never thought of that. That's awesome.
Got a 3-foot door.
Wow.
And a 3-foot door, and the appliances are at wheelchair height.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and so we showed them that. Fine.
That's like a game changer right there. I would
Oh yeah,
imagine.
because we're servicing everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then, in the process, we also build trailers, not with just a single bed. We build them now, some of them with a 54-inch wide bed for a married couple or a lady vet with a young child, can be kept until they can get permanent housing.
Right.
And they're warm.
Right.
So I never want to hear that a vet's going to freeze again. And I never want to hear there's no place you can put them, because we have trailers available. We started a few years ago with a prototype. Then we raised money. People started. We had one lady donate $10,000 right at the get-go.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that gave us a big boost. Then she went and decorated all 4 of them. So, and back then we were buying the trailers, the blank trailers, for $2,600 a piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're $7,000 a piece for a
I was
blank
gonna
trailer.
say, with the way the economy's going, I would
Oh,
imagine
everything
that.
is tripled.
Yeah.
So, and we're not buying them out of state now. We're now buying them in Winslow.
Oh, awesome.
But we
Definitely
go
keeping it
through-
local.
We go through Scouts Recreation. He's not marking them up. He gets them for what they cost.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And at our barbecue that we had this year, the year before we raised under 11,000. This year we raised over 24,000 at the barbecue.
Wow.
All the food for the 2 barbecues was donated.
That's awesome. That's great.
This year they donated a lot more. And Robert was there. And the quality of the people, we had 2 checks given to us, one from Generic and one from a foundation in California.
Generic, is that the?
The generator.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to double check.
And we
That's
put their
awesome.
decal on for them.
Yep.
And the foundation in California, it so happens that the director of the foundation was a light colonel in the Air Force. So we had one of our commemorative plaques made. And when they were going to give us a check for $5,000, then they gave us one for $7,000.
Wow.
So that covered a blank trailer. They surprised us with that, but we surprised them with the.
Right. That's
decal.
awesome.
Well,
But it proved the point that anything can be done if
Yep.
you get out of the box.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And I have learned that the private sector can do more because you don't have red tape.
Right. There's not
Absolutely.
those restrictions.
Our rule is you're a vet, we'll help you. We don't care if you've got a big stipend check from the VA or whatever, because you don't know. They might have some kind of a court order that they have to pay somebody or whatever. You don't know what the bottom line
Right.
is.
Right.
The vet needs help.
Yep.
We had a young man in one for 5 months. He fell on his face 3 times trying to recover. He was up in a mountain and strong. Mountain lion clambering at his tent,
Wow.
trying to get at him. We brought a trailer up the next day when he called us, plugged it in there, He now has an apartment and a full-time job and realizes that having something nice is worthy of being.
Right.
Out of
I would
society.
imagine it gives you your self-worth back, too.
Yeah, and
so.
confidence.
And sometimes they just need a jump start. They need somebody to understand, but not to go down on them.
Right.
I'm a Vietnam vet. Too much tours that I want to talk about, but I understand what they go through. I've had vets call me at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because they need somebody to talk to because I'm there.
That's awesome that there's someone there for them to be able to call, too.
Well, these gentlemen, they service vets too in their capacity at the VA.
Yeah, I know Bob was
Yeah.
talking a little bit about that on the last podcast.
Arthur's Korean vet, but
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your service, everyone.
Yeah, for everybody.
all our volunteers are veterans. All but one was a veteran. Nobody takes pay. Every penny goes into what we do.
That's
That's
one
great.
thing that Shelley had brought up in the podcast. I have to say first podcast.
First.
There's a podcast missing here for everybody that
Yep.
missed it because we missed it too apparently because our audio.
Yeah, we've had people.
It's Jeremy's
call-
fault.
Yeah.
People call
Yeah,
that want to
my
know
bad.
that. How do we do that? I said, well, the organizational fees come out of here.
Yeah.
They don't come out of that because the vet's more important. The vet that needs the help. The idea is to help,
Yeah.
not to take away from it.
I would like
It's
to
actually
take
from the heart.
Right,
a moment
It's
too
love.
and mention or have Bob mention. We are getting a plaque on the trailer so that in the name of
Commemorating a vet.
you want to go ahead and
We have a VBA employee, a coach of ours that passed away recently from cancer. He was roughly a 30-year vet, and he'd done a lot for helping veterans throughout his career, helping fight for us in the VBA against the powers that be that decide that we have too many VSRs or too many RVSRs, so they need to go to bat for us. And our upline did, and he was one of those that fought really hard. And I just thought it'd be a nice thing to do, and I talked to Ed and Arthur about it, and they said, well, yeah, we have this memorandum plaque. And I go, well, if I raise enough for a trailer, you think we can work out something on that part of it?
That's awesome.
And he's like, absolutely. And that's what you get when you deal with these guys. You know, there's a lot of people you deal with, and they're like cold. But that's not what you get when you deal with fellow veterans who understand, and they understand how hard it is to
Right.
put yourself out there, to take the chance,
Yep.
to be willing to fail. You got to step out of your comfort zone, and you got to take a shot.
Absolutely.
Just do the best you can.
Definitely.
And you always come out a winner when you do that. So
Yeah.
You can't judge somebody. You got to help them.
Right.
Yep.
You know.
And I've seen these trailers. They're amazing.
Yeah. From
it really
what I've
is.
seen,
Put-
they're
put a stand-
We
immaculate.
put a vet in one not too far from here, on the other side of Skowhegan, and went to 27 below that night. And we called him at 9:30 in the morning because we only tested it to 10 below. He said, I had to get up twice in the night and turn it down because I was sweating.
That's
And his
funny.
daughter grabbed the phone, and she said, we're moving in with him because he's warm and we're freezing in the double wide.
That's awesome
So, yeah.
to know that these.
And the newer trailers, the ones from Alcon, because we have some bigger walls and floors and everything, we went from a R37 up to an R51.
Wow.
That's more than typically anybody's house is.
Yep.
And the idea is to let a vet know that people care,
Yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and we do.
You guys are
The people
definitely
in this
doing
room
a
care.
great
Yeah,
job.
absolutely. And I was fortunate enough to be able to join you guys at the Walk-A-thon, so that was just awesome to see all the camaraderie.
Yep, and it's the same. We had a guy come into the shop today, and he had called me on the phone, and he wanted to see. And I walked him through the whole process from beginning to end. He hands me an envelope, and it was $1,000 on it.
Wow, that's
deal.
awesome.
That's what people do.
Yep.
Yep. Well, it's definitely a cause that I believe I heard what was the number, right around 200 homeless vets.
189.
189.
That we know about.
Okay, so I was gonna say I knew the number was right up there, but
Some
one's
people say
too many.
It's less,
And
it's less if they're on a sheet. you know.
Right. Well, I'm sure there's some that don't want to.
Yeah, they don't.
They probably don't want to admit that,
Right.
or tell someone that they're homeless.
So, but
The idea is to help the vet.
it sounds like you guys are knocking down that wall to get to possibly the people that are a little harder to reach.
Yeah, because we want to understand. We don't need to hear the story because we know.
Right.
We
How it is.
understand. We understand that. We want to help you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, just hearing these success stories from you guys helping is very moving.
Yeah, we had a couple in one that got kicked out of their apartment, not because they didn't pay rent. It's because the state shut it down because of violations.
Oh.
And they were in a trailer.
Well, yeah. There's so many things that can be out of people's control too.
Yeah.
They
So.
were both veterans. Both veterans. So with their check that they got every month, they were able to save in 3 months. They were able to save first month, last month, and another month's rent. They said if
Definitely.
they hadn't lived in the trailer, they never would have been able to save the money.
Right.
Right.
And it costs roughly now with the increase and everything, with the propane on a cold day, costs about $5 a day to run it. Okay, that's a lot better than a $140 hotel bill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say that's about a night, $150 a night. I think most place, a decent place.
A decent place, right? Well, the last weekend, Columbus Day weekend, the nearest place they could find a place to put a vet for a night was down in Kennebuck
Yeah.
Wow.
from Boothbay. Okay, down in Kennebuck, $300.
That's
Yeah, and that's because it's Kennebunk.
yeah.
Right.
It's.
But
It's
what
crazy.
do you do in the wintertime when they shut all of them down?
Right.
I was gonna say yeah. A lot of those places down towards Saco,
What do
they're
you do on a Friday night
seasonal.
when a vet calls up at 4:45 and people are getting ready to go home?
right.
They're not going to take the time. Call me Monday.
Yeah.
Not all of them are like that. There's a few.
Right.
But they can call us, and they don't need electricity to run the heat. We can get them
Right,
through the
'cause it's all
weekend
propane.
because
Right.
there's a backup battery to run the lights. They just won't have the microwave. But we give them a gift card for Hannaford so they could go get something that's hot from the food bar.
Oh, that's
Right.
nice.
Wow.
Or something.
That's
or
awesome.
Cooked chicken or something.
Yeah, those
They can
chickens
eat.
are good. We eat a
Yeah.
lot of them myself. So.
Me too.
The thing is, we give them that. We give them non-perishable goods so they have something.
Right.
And something is for people that are in that situation. That means something.
Right.
It does. Yeah.
It means a lot.
Because you're going above and beyond.
Now, what's the process if somebody's in vet's in a situation where
We
they need?
like to have them go through somebody that's going to be a caseworker to keep an eye on them to make sure that they're progressing and so forth to get them in the permanent housing.
Okay.
Because this is only a temporary.
Temporary.
You know, and because of the pandemic, some of them have been in it longer
Right.
than we originally had designed.
Unforeseen.
But I'm not going to throw a vet on the ground
Right.
because of a day or a month or whatever it might be. It's more important to keep helping them knowing that they're being helped because some of them are finding part-time jobs and able to put money away.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah, it is.
They weren't able to do that before.
Right.
So
They can do that and still stay
yeah,
warm.
if they call like Preble Street or now the Salvation Army is starting a project called Red Shield.
Right.
Red Shield. And they're going to take 2 of our trailers for Augusta and 2 for Portland.
Oh, wow.
And they want to spread them around to their places, but they're guaranteeing showers and toilets so they don't have to use the
Right.
emergency.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
what
Access.
Shelley was talking about too, about like using like a Planet Fitness since they have shower
Yeah, right.
facilities and
Yeah,
stuff.
say a business person needs a worker, and a vet that's homeless wants to work. If that person will allow us to plug a trailer in at their facility and get them signed up to Planet Fitness or get them to a Y for showers and
Right.
stuff and let them use the bathrooms there. You have a worker, can't say he can't get to work, he's already there.
No, you're right. Hey, no, I didn't even think of that.
You can't call in
You
sick.
know,
That
Right.
and not only that, you've got a military
Get yourself
person.
some employee security there.
Oh, you have a military person who knows how to do security.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all trained in security in the military. Everybody. is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. So now you've got 2 pluses.
Yep.
They're there. So you got to do a little bit, or you take them down so they can buy food, but they can cook it in a microwave or
Yep.
whatever, or they can go to a restaurant if they, some of them have cars, some of them don't.
Sure.
But you show a little kindness, and
Goes
you're
a
going to
long
get
way.
10 times back. 10
Absolutely.
times back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we have one more announcement to make.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna.
She's full of surprises.
Well, actually, I'm gonna let Bob. We've been talking about it, and I believe we have an announcement to make about doing another walk-a-thon next year. So.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys at All Things Kennebec, All Sides Kennebec.
All sides coming
excuse
back.
me.
Hey, no worries.
And,
Been called worse.
For everything you've done, for being there for all of us at the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Things like that. And now it's a closing ceremony. So there's a completion to the whole
There
thing.
is.
Right,
you know.
right.
It usually is a beginning, middle, and end, but they cut out the middle, and we're good.
It's Jeremy's fault.
It was mine. I didn't know the cord was down there. I yanked it out by accident. Totally my fault. But we're hoping they'll be involved next year.
Definitely.
We're going to have
Let
another
us know.
walk-a-thon, and we're going to do as much as we can, and we're hoping to do better even. This has been a total success as far as we're concerned, because like any time you can keep a vet out of the cold for one day, you've succeeded. And we provided one trailer, which I have no idea how many vets I can service, but one at a time probably. And the reality is, multiple vets will
Probably
be going
help.
into that trailer over the years.
Yeah, you can probably help him. I would probably.
We've had the trailer come back one day and go out the next day.
Right.
Well, what do you think the average stay is in one?
The average
3-4 months, or
we've had some vets in them for a couple of years now.
wow, on
What's
your
the
average
average?
basis.
The average, anywhere from 30 days to 3 months.
So
Okay, that's not bad.
yeah, one trailer.
Reasonable.
But even in the wintertime, when it's more difficult to find a motel to put
Right.
them in or whatever, they might have to go 5.5 months for the winter.
Yeah,
But again,
every situation's different.
yeah. Well, and the thing is, there's no price on a life.
No, absolutely not.
absolutely.
Absolutely not.
We spare no expense on doing the right products.
Right.
Even our insulation won't support flame.
That's what
Right.
Bob was talking about on the first podcast we did.
It
So-
won't support bacteria. And it
That's
won't absorb
that's
water.
a big thing,
The heater doesn't produce any carbon monoxide.
no doubt.
It's more expensive. But again,
It's worth
It's
it.
worth it.
the price of a life is cheap. We put insurance on them,
Yep.
God forbid something happened, but nobody would take a trailer because they didn't want to pay for liability insurance.
Right.
They said it was going to be astronomical. It works out to $450 a trailer a year.
It's not bad.
It's a little bit over $1 a day. Like, again, there's no price on a life.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
But what you're able to do long run with it is it's definitely worth it.
Well, we've had people offer land to us, but then you have to. That's a harder process because
Right, more headache.
You gotta go to the people around the land to get their approval.
Yeah.
Then you got to go to the
zoning
town with
issues.
a plan. You got to draw drawings, and if that was what we were going to do, then we would have a building with a social worker office,
Yep.
a kitchen, an eating area, showers and toilets for men and women, and then place the trailers around. And if there was enough land, have somebody come in the summertime and till up the ground for a garden.
That'd be
You know,
sweet.
You got to
That'd
get
be
power
awesome.
in. You got to get a septic system in.
Right.
Perhaps someday.
But there are people who are willing to donate stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
People that come in and do that work because they can write it off against our 501c3 and they're
Right.
making out in tax-wise.
Yep.
But it can happen, and it's going to happen. It's going to take time, but we got to do it right. We have the right people
Yep.
controlling every site, making sure
That's what. Yeah. You got to make sure you have the right people in place.
The people
to
who
do it.
care.
Yes. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to have the success that you're seeing.
because the
And
people
that-
that we're taking care of were there to take care of the people at home.
Yep.
They were willing to put their life on the line
Right.
Absolutely.
for this country. Whether they were in an office or they were in combat, they were still willing to put their life on the line because that's what they signed up for.
Yep.
You don't always know where you're going when you sign up.
No,
So.
I did 6 tours now. I
You
know.
get to fill out your dream sheet.
Right. Your wish list.
Well, you know, back when I was back in the '60s when I signed up, they give you a test. You don't know, but when you sign your name, you've passed it.
Oh, that ain't so
They
funny.
got you. come here.
No, but the military is a good place.
No, it is. It is. Especially
For some-
like my father. He grew up in Clinton, and he didn't really have good structure. And the Navy's the route he went, and he did a little over 20 years in the Navy. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it's
Turned his life around.
absolutely. I don't think I'd be here today if he hadn't. So,
Yep.
but
But there are people that have suffered because of battle. You know.
absolutely.
I just wish the government did a better job at taking care of them. Everyone that comes back.
There's things again. There's solutions to every given problem.
Absolutely.
Yep.
My feeling is that if the VSOs and the state and the VA were there when veterans come back from overseas at an airport, whatever, and get them signed up in the particular area, VFW, American Legion,
Right.
or DAV, get them signed up in the VA system right then. Now they're in the system
Yep.
because, like me and other vets, we felt that we were only doing our job.
Mhm.
But do we know when we're young and stupid that later in life you need it? You need the help of the
Right.
VA. You
Right.
need the help of a given organization that will fight to help you. And this is what we got to get across. Because
you can only battle the battle so long by yourself.
Right.
So,
Right.
you-
Post-traumatic stress disorder
Yes.
will kill you eventually.
Yeah, it's a game changer, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have the proper guidance and you get the proper people and the proper treatment, you can survive.
there is a
But
future.
not everybody survives the same way as another person. Everybody's got their own way out. And some people never come out.
Yep.
But that's the people we're helping. There's a reason why they're on the street.
Yeah.
Some don't want to be helped, unfortunately. And that's not just vets.
Right.
That's
Right.
homeless, period. Some
Right.
don't want to be around people.
Right.
They want their own life.
Yep.
And we have to break away when we know that that's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I know.
hurts.
Yeah, I know.
It hurts.
I know.
Right.
Like with what you guys are doing, shelters. Like a lot of people don't like to be around other people. So, like with what you guys are doing, that may be an outlet that's more beneficial to somebody that doesn't want to be around a crowd. Maybe.
Exactly.
So-
We just did 4 stand downs with the state and the VA,
Yeah. So you were talking about this.
and
Earlier when-
every vet that's looked at one says, "I can live in that," because they don't have elbows touching somebody else in a shelter.
Yep.
Right.
Right.
You're right.
And that's why the Salvation Army wants them, because they deal with that every day,
Yep.
and they like what we're doing. So if other people will jump on board, again, we're increasing the solution.
Right.
And every vet you help is one less vet that's on the street.
So how long does it take to make one on average?
Arthur and I did 4 alone. And again, I had just recovering from my
Surgery.
We did 4 in 16 weeks.
Wow.
Okay.
With the crew I have now, if we were able to stay on them,
Right.
we could probably produce 1 a week.
1 week.
Wow.
That's
impressive.
awesome.
But we again, as you do things, you find different ways to do it faster.
More
Right.
efficiently.
More, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty efficient shop. Robert's been there.
I'm sure you guys have probably built tools to make things easier for yourselves making these. I would
Arthur
imagine.
says if I don't have a tool, it's not made. Right, Arthur?
Well, your place is huge, so I it's amazing to look at.
And but we took a building that used to do painting in, and we converted it into doing what we're doing. We still do paint. My wife
Right.
does painting there, but we build the trailers because it's more important.
Yep.
It's more important. My brothers and sisters, vets, are important. Again, don't leave anybody behind. There are many people understand that are out there that will hear this, will know what I'm saying.
Yep.
You leave nobody behind because they feel like they've been left behind, because people have turned their backs on them many times, and they feel like there's no sense in it, no
Yeah.
sense surviving. But when they see a glimmer of hope, they lift themselves up. There's nothing. They're good people.
Absolutely.
They're very good people. Some of them are actually very brilliant. We had a young man come in that had severe PTSD. He had a dog. He wanted to buy a trailer, but somebody had given us a trailer that was semi-built. And I sent him pictures. He came down. He did work on the trailer there, and we gave him the trailer.
Wow.
Awesome.
And he actually went down to Tennessee to see his family down there.
Oh.
But he cried, didn't he, Arthur? Yeah. He cried.
Oh, I bet it's
I bet.
life changing
Yeah.
to be able to have that weight lifted off.
We
To
had
know.
somebody donate a 40-foot trailer to us, a fifth wheel.
Really?
Okay, we
Wow.
put it on the internet, and somebody came within 2 days and put a deposit on it.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's awesome.
And the guy that he put the deposit on for,
Okay.
The one down.
Okay. Yeah, because I gotta head
put the
out.
deposit on for. He said, "I'm not going to pay you for that. That much. I'm not going to pay you the figure you want for it." I said, "Okay, what will you give me?" He said, "I'm going to give you 2,000 more
Oh, wow.
because of what you're doing."
Yeah.
His family was all vets,
Oh.
That's great.
and he said, "You give it. You get something here that was better than what I looked at for less money."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's-
and for more money.
Yep.
He said, "So we try to treat people right. Try to treat us right, and all we can do is keep helping."
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys are on the right track. Do you guys have any way set up so that if people do want to donate, how do people get money to you?
We're going to have somebody put it on our internet,
Okay.
onto our website. We're going to put up a direct link for credit cards
Okay.
to the bank account.
We'll have Shelly get a hold of us, and,
Yeah.
and when they
Yeah.
do, we'll throw a post up on all sides of Kennebec for you guys.
Sounds great.
So I get a card.
Plus, I think I saw somewhere that you guys also had a GoFundMe page set up.
Yeah, we had a GoFundMe page, and we didn't get much out of that.
But is that still valid? Is it like if someone finds
Yeah,
it?
it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the most computer savvy guy, and
Probably cashier's checks would probably be the best way to donate
a
because
check to us, and then we send a letter. We also
Yeah.
on our website they can print off a 501c3.
right.
Right.
We'll
yeah,
send a
it's
letter
tax.
at the end of the year saying how much they donated to verify what they gave.
And the only reason I say do it that way is because I know places like what's the name of the thing you just said? I always forget it.
Oh, the GoFundMe.
The
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe takes money from you
Right.
to do it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and from what I've heard, it's
if
quite
they
a
do
bit
it
of
on
money
a credit
too.
card,
so.
they're going to lose a smaller percentage than GoFundMe.
Right.
Right,
Right, yeah.
So that's why I say do a.
That
I think it's like
address
$2
on the
for that.
card is
Yeah.
where they send donations.
Yeah, that's our treasurer's box.
But then they
Okay.
don't take it from the.
So if anyone
business.
decides to want to donate and you want to write a check,
They can write a check.
Send it to that address.
Boothbay VETS,
Yeah.
Yeah.
P.O. Box 402,
Yeah.
East Boothbay, Maine, 04544.
Yeah.
I'll put the address on
Right.
on
And
Facebook.
yeah, and we do a mail out. And he also, when somebody sends in, he also sends like out a couple times a year letters
Yep.
of where we're at.
Oh,
that's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Now,
Like
understand, we started buying the trailers more in 2020. From then to the ones we just received, buying trailers on Monday, we have 27 trailers in 2 years.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. Good deal. Well, we got to wind down, so I definitely want to thank you guys for coming out to all sides of Kennebec today.
Yeah.
I definitely want to thank Shelly for coming back onto the podcast. We definitely also have to thank Shared Studio for allowing us to make this possible. I guess until next time, remember, a true patriot questions everything.